What's up? So, just so Liz knows, the what's up is the acronyms, like kind of what's up, but what's that?
Yeah,
That's
it
our
is,
that's
isn't
our
it?
little thing that we do.
I
What's
love it.
up? So people are like, what are those girls saying?
Well,
She's
now a whole new
she's is
group
the
of people
famous one for
knows.
doing it. Yeah, yeah. So, thank you, Liz, for joining us today. We're excited to have you on board. And before we get started, I wanted to say welcome to who's sitting at your table. Liz is the founder of MYNE Beauty, and she is the creator of the ultimate F word. We'll get into that, and the F word meaning 50s. So we'll get into that. But before we start getting into all that topic, I just wanted to kind of check in, see how everything's going. Liz, you have some funny news to share with us when we tried to record the last time. It's kind of a funny little thing
I
that
was
we want to
hoping
share.
that was gonna be the topic of the day.
Yes, it is the
That
topic
was
right now.
that was
Let's
Well,
do it.
shocking.
first of all, it's
First of all, it was scary at first, but now we can
yes,
laugh at it, right? Go ahead,
yes.
Liz. Tell
All right.
us.
Well, first of all, hello. It's so nice to see you guys again. This is a do-over from the last time we did this because we were trying to do a podcast, and my husband told me I had to immediately shut this down because there were two policemen at my door who were trying to get in touch with me because my doctor could not get a hold of me to tell me that my potassium levels were off the charts from some blood work I had just done, and I needed to go to the ER immediately. So the three of us needed to disperse very, very quickly. Long story short, I am perfectly healthy, perfectly fine. It was a faulty blood test. So we're doing this again.
I'm
Wow.
excited to
Trying
have you come and
again.
join us
I'm
again.
just so happy that everything worked
More
out. And
Liz
let's not
time.
forget, the dogs were barking off the hook first. So it's like, oh, whoa, 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 like because the police were at the door and the dogs were like doing their thing.
Maybe
So
I'll
if
take
you're
that little part and put it on the back of at the end of this video, this
Oh, that would be
podcast,
funny.
as a
Yeah.
funny little.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was so like you were just apologizing. We're like, no, we love dogs. But you could
It's
barely
crazy.
hear we could barely hear each other over the dogs barking. And then your husband's understandably checking in on you to tell you why. And you seem like, what are you doing interrupting me?
Shut
Well,
it
you
down?
do
What does
remember
that
because a
mean?
police are at the
You're
door.
improving your health. So well, I'm so glad everything worked out. That was incredible. Like just
It was
crazy.
definitely a funny moment, and I'm glad it was at least preserved for posterity to be able to maybe laugh about it later. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, healthy as a horse.
And I actually, you know what we did? I hopped off and I had my parents were in town. They were leaving the next day. And so we just went and had a really lovely dinner at my favorite local place called 32 Shea. I just
Oh,
love it. It's like
nice.
got a great little breakfast nook. It's great for dogs. You can have like, so you can have breakfast, you can have dinner, you can have wine, like all kinds of things. And it just was such a lovely evening. So I made the most of it.
There you go. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I had a
Well,
date with my husband.
oh,
Oh,
well, that's
so at
nice.
the ER?
Yeah, at the
How long
ER.
were you at the ER? How long did you end up having to stay at the ER?
Oh, nothing's ever fast at the
No,
ER. God bless them.
Never.
They were amazing. Everyone there was
that's
chipper
awesome.
and really trying to just help us get out of there. But we got home at about 11:30, I guess.
Oh my, what a long
Yeah.
trip to ER.
That's not the kind of
No,
date that I'd be looking forward to.
me neither.
Well, I'm so happy to have you back on board. We obviously get more Liz time. Let's get the party started.
Cool. Yeah,
All right. Well,
absolutely.
Liz, let me ask you a little bit about yourself before we like dive into your business, Mind Beauty. I kind of want to just start off by kicking off the beginning. Like, where did you grow up and what was your childhood like? We want to know, Liz, and what your background is, and we'll build up to the big thing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you.
I had a really great childhood. I grew up outside of New York City in a suburban town. I'm one of four kids, loving mother and father. I mean, literally, there's really no trauma to unpack. Sorry to disappoint anyone who's looking for that, but
Nobody's looking for that.
no, but I had a great childhood, and my dad was actually a refugee from Czechoslovakia,
Oh,
and his whole life he spent working and doing and just being trying for prosperity for himself and his family. I had him and my mother who supported him wholeheartedly. She was a doting mother to us and an amazing wife, I think, because they had a great marriage for 60 some odd years until he passed away recently.
Mhm.
But,
Oh,
he was like he was the most amazing role model. That's all I can say, and, it's no wonder my brother's in business, my sister's a physician, my younger brother's in business, I have my own business. It's no wonder because we really had an extraordinary role model. So
well,
there,
I first of
you
all,
know,
I'm
we'll
sorry for your
pass.
loss. You said recently
Yeah.
passed, so I'm sorry.
I hear
That's
you.
really tough.
I
I
hear
also
you.
lost my father, so I know how hard that is. He's the rock of the
Yeah.
family, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it sounds like you had a really wonderful role model, so hats off to your father.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And, it was also I was the 3rd of 4, so I typical 3rd child, I was a tomboy, shocker. So, I had to learn how to navigate older siblings, younger siblings, parents. So, I really learned how to read the room and learn how to navigate personalities. I think as a 3rd child, you learn that.
A good quality. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
quality to have. Yeah,
helps,
I love
really
how you
helps.
say 3rd child. Like, so ho wait, so you're the 3rd of how many siblings again?
Or
4, okay. So you're kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm the middle child.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
Of
awesome.
how many?
Of 3 girls, me, I'm the middle, and I have an older sister, so yeah, 3 girls. My poor dad.
Yeah.
Uh,
well, I
okay.
I have in common with you the tomboy side, but I was first of 2, and I my father is same as yours, very influential in my life. Um, Along those lines, is there anyone else you can say, like in your family, uh, who influenced you to become the woman you are?
Well, certainly my mother, who was right there next to my dad, she's an amazing woman. Raising 4 kids back in the 60s and 70s, supporting your husband. And then after she was a stay-at-home mom until we were in high school, and then she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go back and finish my degree." And she did. She went back, she got a degree from Columbia. She was a dental hygienist before she met my dad, and then she started going into schools and being a substitute teacher. She was not just going to hang it up after all the kids had gone off, to do
Good
what they
for
were going to
her,
do in
man.
college or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but she was just always this, and still is today, this warm, loving, beautiful woman. So, really, I mean, my role models were so close to home. I feel very fortunate about that. I know along the way there was lots of other men and women who were also role models to me, but I mean, these two literally, from 0 to now were really my heroes.
That's
That sounds
awesome.
amazing. I love hearing that. That's awesome. Warms my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
It's great to have good role models like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really important, and I feel very lucky, and now I wanna pass that on to my kids. My daughter's
Yes.
28, my son's 26, and I wanna be able to do that for them too, show them, not always just tell them, but show
Mhm.
them.
Be that
Moving,
role model. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Mhm.
actions
Yeah.
really speak louder than words, so
I honestly believe that. That's Cheese and I've had a lot of
yeah,
conversations about actions are speak louder than words on everything in all the relationships, whether
everything.
it's a family, business, love relationships, whatever. It's
Yeah,
so important.
yeah, it really
So
is.
now I'm going to spin this a little bit, kind
Yeah.
of trajectory moving forward because we're going to go down the line here. But like growing up, like what was your relationship with beauty? Was it positive, complicated, evolving? I think I might know the answer, but I kind of want to hear it from you.
Well, look, I'm like you guys. I grew up in the '80s, really, right? I mean, in the '70s, I was little. So beauty back then was simpler, I guess is the word I would describe it. You know,
Yeah, it was.
it was. I always wanted to look nice. I had that preppy collar thing going. I actually did have a mullet thing going at one point, but
All of
I
us
was,
kind of did, right? The bi-level cut.
yeah,
Was it called bi-level? Yeah.
yeah. And then the curls, remember all those big giant
Oh
curls
my
for a while there, the
gosh.
hairband curls?
Oh my gosh. Big hair
But,
days.
um, but I wasn't gonna spend a lot of time, you know, spend a lot of time with beauty. There was no social media. There was no ring lights and
Yeah.
no get ready with me on social media. There was just no pressure back then, really, to curate your own personal brand, you know? I mean, I'm sure like you guys, my beauty education came from places like Teen Beat, you know? I mean, I used to watch those
Yes.
girls in Teen Beat with that shiny
Yes.
lip gloss, you know? It was
Oh
awesome.
my god.
There just wasn't a giant emphasis on beauty
Mhm.
like it was today. It was more
Mhm.
about lifestyle, right? Avon, there was no Sephora
Oh
back
my
then.
gosh.
Avon was
Yeah.
huge back in the '80s.
Mary Kay and Avon, right? Mary Kay and
Yes.
Avon. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
L'Oreal.
The pink car, everybody's had to get the pink car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, just my mirror in my bedroom, like trying to try things out, but it was just very simple back then, beauty just it wasn't as serious, and really even into my 20s. I mean, we were just very busy living. We weren't
Yeah.
really social
We didn't
media.
have phones, we didn't have social media, we didn't have any
Yeah.
of those things, so we
Yeah.
could be more present, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
really. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very
Literally.
different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So along those lines, what was your path for MYNE Beauty? Was beauty always a part of the plan? Sounds like it kind of evolved into it, but I love to hear your
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, no, beauty, well, remember, think about it. We just talked about it. In the '80s, like, beauty wasn't really, it was barely a thing. It was a thing, but it wasn't a career thing. So really, not for me at that point, it was not even remotely. Really, out of college, so in college I was a Japanese major, and
You
I lived
were?
in the
You know that
Philippines.
I'm half Japanese?
Oh, so do you speak Japanese?
A skoshi. I
Skoshi
I
desu.
was I was I was, born in Okinawa. My mom's from Okinawa.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, we have so
Okay.
much to talk about that.
And I love
Wow.
to eat Japanese food.
Yeah. We all
I
do.
love Japanese
Oh my
food.
god, Liz, we're gonna have to do sushi, all of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Coming out there, or we're gonna have to find a place in the middle of the
Yes.
country and cook
Yes,
up.
exactly.
Yes. But because of that, and again, like, remember, I graduated college in 1989. You got a job by calling a recruiter because there were no cell phones really. You called a recruiter, you went to their office, and they went digging through their file faxes looking for jobs for you. And because I spoke
I remember
Japanese,
those days. Oh, that's
right?
great, yeah.
It was very impressive on paper, but it was really far less impressive in practice because I wound up getting a job at an investment bank, not for the banking part of it, but because they had this philanthropic arm of their organization that they were trying to basically do good, and they had this wonderful group. But what I really mostly did was just pour tea. That's really what I did for a year. But it led me it led me to Lauder in a very weird way because my boss, his ex-girlfriend, because life is very funny, was the director of marketing at Estee Lauder.
Oh my
And he
gosh.
got me an interview, and that was it. I didn't
Wow.
plan beauty in
How
any
old were
way.
you? How old were you at that time?
It kidnapped me. I was what, 22?
My
22.
gosh, what a perfect time, like, how exciting that must have been for
Oh,
you.
God, it was great. And let me tell you, first of all, this investment firm that I worked with had unbelievable players. James D. Wolfenson, who was the head of the World Bank, Paul Volcker, who was the ex-chairman of the Fed. I mean, these were
Wow.
big names.
Yeah.
And I was right there with it. It was just so cool. And then jumping over to Lauder, Lauder back then was really tight, privately held company. Mr. Leonard Lauder was always walking the halls. Mrs. Evelyn Lauder was always walking the halls. I mean, like involved in the
Wow.
development and the marketing. So it was an unbelievable
How
time
exciting.
to be at Estee
Yeah.
Lauder. Yeah, it really was.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So how long were you at Estee Lauder for?
I was there for 18 years total. Like Estee
Wow.
Lauder brand, Prescriptives
Yeah.
brand, Aveda, because it's
Wow.
all under the Estee Lauder brand, but I worked at several of the different brands at Lauder. in both
Wow.
marketing and product development.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh my god, that's
I
just
was there. I was really there at the right time. I mean, it was awesome.
well, was there a personal moment or life experience that made beauty feel deeper or more meaningful to you? I try to put myself in your shoes. It's just, at your age in your early 20s and going through that and then being there for 18 years, I mean, tell me more about your experience and, in that whole moment, personal moments.
Well, it is interesting because beauty can be vapid, right? So in addition to, yes, it's exciting and you're meeting all these people and you're talking about millions of dollars and we have to figure out how to get the cost of the compact down because it could mean the difference of several hundreds of thousands of dollars to the bottom line. Yes, all of that is really amazing, but it can feel a little cold, right? And just
Mhm.
business. But I will tell you this. First of all, beauty is anything but that because beauty can change a person, and when you get to the root of beauty, it can be very powerful in how it makes you feel. So and I'll tell you, I'll give you one example. At Lauder, we participated, and maybe you guys have heard of this before, but we participated in an organization called Look Good Feel Better. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a program where you work with women going through cancer treatments. And, here we are, we're all glammed up every time we go there. Our hair's done, we're wearing pretty clothes, high heels. And you're watching a woman who's sad. She feels invisible. She's isolated and she's bald. She has no hair. And suddenly, you see the smile on her face because all you're doing is penciling on a brow, or you're adding just like a little bit of pink blush to her skin. It's profound. It
Yeah.
really is. It wasn't about vanity. It was about dignity, and it was about feeling human again, And that's when I realized that beauty, I have the goosebumps because I can
Yeah.
remember the
No, that's
times,
awesome.
like working with these women. It's just the simplicity of that act, but the way that they reacted was shocking, you know what I mean? And it really proves that beauty has power, It can lift somebody in a way that you can't always put it into words, It can't fix everything, but it can change how you feel about yourself in a moment. And that moment matters,
Yeah, Cheese and
Yeah,
I
I
talk
love
a lot about mindset, right? And so
Yeah.
what you did was you provided them with something that they could physically see, and it's kind of like that whole saying too. They say "fake it till you make it," or if you wear outfit and it's like if you're having a bad hair day or whatever, and you fix your hair and it feels good, and you feel
Yeah.
sexy, right?
Yeah.
The makeup you put on, the clothing you wear, whatever
Yeah.
can switch. Like we talk about music, you listen to music, it changes the mindset. So that beauty
and I
changed their
love the
mindset.
word dignity,
Mm,
as the, kind of the outcome, kind of supplying them with that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Very
yeah, how
inspirational.
special.
Along the lines of inspiration, what inspired you to create MYNE Beauty? What gap did you see in the industry?
Well, so look, I'm 58 years old. I've told you guys this before, and I spent decades, over 3 of them actually, creating products that, and I hate this word, but it's the right word, obsessed with the idea of youth, right? Anti-aging, reversing, fighting, fixing. I mean, all those words, you read all those words in advertisements or on social media posts. You see those words all the time. And it was always a war on age.
Yes.
And no one was talking to that 50-year-old woman and saying, "You're good. You're powerful. You've still got it. You're still evolving." And so it was always framed like aging was something to battle, like it was a bad thing. And listen, I did it all those years. I was complicit. I was part of it because I was in those marketing rooms with all those people sitting around the table doing that, talking about how we can fight aging. And then I suddenly hit the age and I'm like, who are we kidding? you can't fight it. Mother Nature and gravity, just once they take hold, they let them take hold. And does it really matter? You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, I mean, the point was is that nobody was really talking to women over 50 in a way that felt, I thought, respectful or real,
Mhm.
and and there were at that point. So this is, I'm now talking about like during COVID. So, maybe 5 years ago, there were almost no brands that were pro age or that were having that pro age conversation. When you look at your social media feed, that conversation has really only come about in like the last two, maybe 3 years, but really 2 years where it's starting to be very prolific, And I
Mhm.
thought, you know what? I wanted to change that narrative to pro age. Even today, I think brands, they love marketing to older women with like, their one-off campaigns, but they can't be dedicated to us because they already have a following of 18
Mhm.
to 45-year-olds. So you can't exclude them. You have to keep them happy. So, they throw us a bone every now and again and they throw in a nice, beautiful 50-year-old model, but that's it. That's their
God,
that's
there are some out there that throw in the youthful, like, really young models with wrinkle clean oh, like, that's such a change. It's like,
yeah.
can you at least give me someone who looks like me? Like,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah, right? I made it a point that I won't hire any models who when I did the original photo shoot, it was 45, but I have subsequently said 50. That's it, 50. 40-year-olds,
I like that.
even 45-year-olds, they're just starting to go through perimenopause. They
Yep.
have their issues too. So, I don't want to completely say no to a 45-year-old because she is starting to see changes. But by the time you're our age, like,
Oh, 53. I'd say 53 was where I started to really see and I
yeah.
think it totally has to do with postmenopause,
Yeah.
convinced.
Well, I mean, look, your whole hormone system just shuts down, and uh, unless you replace those hormones, there's not a lot you can do to maintain your skin. However, that doesn't mean our attitude has to go away. Just because your hormones take a dive doesn't mean you can't still feel really good or look good or still have that vitality and that energy and drop an F bomb every now and again. Like why can't I at my age?
We don't
It-
fucking
it is
understand
my-
that.
right? So yeah, so that's why I did it.
A lot of
That's
women, when they
awesome.
get to the age of 50, tend to, like, not wanna talk about it, right? They don't wanna talk about some women, I'm not saying all, right? They're not embracing it. So when we see companies that do embrace the women in the 50s, and it inspires her, right? Inspires the women. But
Yeah.
the name "Mine" feels very intentional. What
hmm
does it represent to you personally?
Well, so I'm 58 by the calendar, but inside I feel exactly the same as I always have. My youth has never expired, and it just gets smarter and evolved. Mine, so I don't know if you can see that,
Yep, I can see it
my
now. Yep.
youth never ends.
Oh,
It's
love
mine.
it.
That
Yeah. My youth
Love that.
never ends. It just got smarter. And like I said, it evolved a little bit. So, yes, mine is deeply personal to me. I
I
create
love that.
products for women like me, like you. We're experienced and we've been around and we're confident. We're
love
see
it.
product has a mantra. So when you open it, this one says, our glow is more than skin deep. We are radiant, brilliant, and unstoppable. Let's celebrate our beauty because when somebody who's in their 50s buys makeup, for example, she gets it home, she washes her face, right? So now it's morning time. She's washed her face. She doesn't love what she sees. She sees somebody who looks pale, her brows are starting to go, her lashes are starting to go. I want her to open this, maybe for the first time. That's okay. But I want her to read that. I want to be there with her when she opens that product so she feels great about herself. She'll feel even better
Awesome.
once she puts all this stuff on. But I want her to read this and remember how awesome she is. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah, that's
This
love
one,
it,
awesome.
and it gets me all kinda teary, like, it gets me emotional.
This one said, this is the cream. This is the night cream. It's called Sleep With
Uh-huh.
Me. Again, like,
I
what?
love it. Sleep with me.
Yeah, because like we can still be fun and silly.
Yes. Little
This one
sassy.
says, hang on, even with big letters, watch this. Need my glasses. This is our moment. We are fun, wise, sexy, beautiful, powerful. We can and will look and feel amazing. Go seize the day and make it yours and mine.
Go get it,
Oh, I
queen.
love it.
I love it.
Inspirational. And what's so funny is my question is all about how do you hope women feel when they use MYNE Beauty project products?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
imagine you don't hope that they feel wonderful and great and just, like their skin is cuddled, but you know. So is that what is the dream? Like what do you really want women to feel besides inspired
I
when they're
want them
using your
to feel,
products?
I want people just to feel happy, and powerful and confident. Just like I said, think about it. When we all putting that makeup on in the morning and you look at yourself and your skin's a little blotchy, your brows are really thin, your hair's all over the place, you see the grays everywhere, you don't always feel confident. And you may not feel happy because you constantly are reminding yourself of your younger self. But if you can just remember a couple of these key words that make you feel happy, that make you feel powerful, put on a little bit of blush, a little bit of lip, brow. Just it doesn't take very much. I think women can feel more confident and comfortable in their own skin. I want women to feel like they're best in their own class, not competing with anybody else or even their younger selves. That's the hardest thing, I think, for women is not to remind yourself of your younger self, and,
Yeah.
like not chase that impossible dream. Kris Jenner looks amazing. Costs $1 million to look like that. And it's not realistic. Did you guys see recently on social media, there was this whole thing going on about Rachel, can't think of her last name, from the Thorn.
McAdams?
No, she was, remember the movie The Thornbirds?
Oh, yeah, the Thornbirds, wow.
Yeah, going back,
That's yeah, yeah.
long time ago. Her name was Rachel. Oh my God, I can't think of her last name, but so she did a social media post. She is 68 years old. She lives on a farm in Australia with her husband, Brian, who was also in the Thornbirds. They were actually lovers in the Thornbirds, and they are farmers in Australia. And she looks like a beautiful 68-year-old woman who is a farmer in Australia. She's sunbeaten. She has short white hair. She's got lines and wrinkles. And you would think that every woman would support her and say, that's awesome. Good for you. We're so happy you're just living your best life. But no, she got slammed to the hilt. And so then, everybody was coming to her rescue, kind of like what just happened with Pamela Anderson, where people were like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. You're going to tell me that I have to go out and look glamorous in order to be beautiful? What is that? That's not women's lib. So
Yeah.
it was really kind of a beautiful moment on social media where at first she was getting attacked, but then all of a sudden everybody came to her rescue and was like, time out. She looks like an unbelievably beautiful 68-year-old woman who's living her best life in Australia. Oh, and by the way, her business probably just totally took off because everybody's buying, meat from her farm. But
She's still
Aw.
very beautiful. Rachel Ward is who you're talking
Ward,
about, right?
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, she's still very beautiful.
yeah.
Wow. So now let me ask you this,
Yes.
change it up a little. I mean, what's been the most first of all, I wanna do this I wanna spin it off to a positive, but, like, what's been the most challenging part of building this business? And then, of course, the best part, the rewarding part of building this business?
By far getting the word out, just hands down, that is the hardest part. It's
Mm.
shockingly hard to spread the word
It
without,
is, girl.
yeah, without the backing of a big
Yeah.
company, without spending a gazillion dollars, especially as a startup. But we're making it happen, just like everybody else before me. We're going to take every little win that we get. We're going to take every little moment that we get ourselves out there, and we're just going to keep growing it and growing it and growing it. And then quietly one day there's going to be a tipping point, and suddenly mine's going to be everywhere. So I'm just going to keep taking those wins as I get them and just having them keep add up, you know?
Well, we're supporters, and I love what you're doing. I haven't gotten mine yet, but when I come get it in the mail, I
Yeah.
cannot wait to do the box opening. I'm gonna have to do a video
Yeah.
box opening and
Yeah.
and and you know, post it, right? And
Yes. Thank
talk to
you.
people about it. I can't wait. And then Cheezer and I are we're gonna actually use the product and we're gonna share our experience, right?
Yeah.
So
I love that, you guys,
yes,
thank you, because
you're
it's
Yeah,
welcome.
made for you, you know, and what's the reward for me? It's hearing women say things like, "Wow, finally, this feels like it's really something for me," you know? That
Yes.
that the mantras on the inside, the compact actually has a magnified
I
mirror.
know, those are so nice. I need that,
So,
you know, I
love
need the
that.
magnified mirrors.
you think it's you know, you're kind of like, well, doesn't that seem obvious? But it's not, because nobody was selling product to us. And you know, now you're
Nope.
in a restaurant and you can leave your readers up here if you want, because if you want to, you know, put your lips back on, all you need to do is just, you know, dip in and you look like a
Love it.
regular person using your compact, you know.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I was, on a business trip and I accidentally forgot to pack my 10 times magnet mirror. Remember I was in Arizona, I go, "Hey, do you have one?" Because she was gonna meet me out. I said,
Yeah.
"Can you bring it?" And she goes, "I can't find one." And so I'm like, "Oh, I gotta buy one." But imagine the next morning, me trying to put my eye makeup on without that. Oh
Oh,
my
it's
god. I
brutal.
was, like,
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
So that is awesome.
And we named it, again, like, we're being kind of cheeky about the whole thing. It's not called a hot flash. It's called a haute flash,
I love it.
because we're always chic.
I
I love
love
it.
it.
Yeah. So
Love, love,
again,
love
like,
that.
Love it.
if I had called it hot flash, it would have been too obvious, right? I mean, look, we all get them. I don't need to be that obvious. So we thought it would be fun and be a little cheeky to
I
That's
know
love
so
that,
it.
cute.
you know, it's for you, but you know, it's still chic.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I
I
love that.
love that. And you also, so I love that. You also coined the phrase the ultimate F word,
Yes.
50s. What
Yes.
inspired that? I love it.
Yeah, me too.
Besides
Um,
us
yeah.
being 50.
Well, you know, you notice I immediately told you about it the first time we talked, because I knew you would appreciate it. But I think that people do a double take when they hear it. And
Mhm.
I love that. Just like I like to name a cream Sleep With Me. It's sort of, it makes you do a double take. It doesn't, it feels a little naughty, a little shocking, until you realize that, you know, F just stands for 50. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still
It's
young at heart.
innocent. It's
Right,
innocent. Yeah.
I'm mentally sharp, and, you know, I like humor that pokes the bear just a little bit, just a little bit.
I love
That's
it.
cute. I do love that too. Because when you had said that to us when we first met, and
Yeah,
you got my attention, you know? I was gonna ask you, like, what message you were hoping that women would receive when they hear that phrase, and I could tell you when you said that phrase personally, I was thinking, "Oh, wait, F word." You know, everybody knows what the other F word is, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, wait, what's that about?" But when you shared it was 50s, it just what's the word? It inspired me, but it
yeah,
also gave me humor, and humor is so good for the soul.
yeah, it really is, and it is truly for us, it is the ultimate.
Mhm.
This is our time, ladies.
Yeah.
This is
It's
our
time to
time.
shine. It's our
Yes,
time to shine.
you yes,
Oh,
I
wow.
think it should be called It's Mine Time to Shine.
Yeah,
it's
I
my
love it, yeah.
time.
Mine time to shine.
I love that. It's yours, it's ours, it's mine.
Shine. Yes,
Yeah, that's
love.
Yeah.
awesome. So, how has being in your 50s changed the way you see yourself, your confidence, and your power?
Know if it's changed me. This here again, right? I mean, I am who I am. You are who you are. And I think it's just time to be happy and celebrate where we are in our lives. To be perfectly honest, you know, I don't owe anybody an apology. I love my life and I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing, you know? And if I can encourage people and I can help people feel better about themselves and where they are in their lives, then that I want to do that.
That's awesome.
Love it. So we've talked about having you join our podcast with new updates and F word wisdom. Would you be interested in continuing this conversation with us? We could have a little
Yes.
maybe quarterly check-in.
Yes, love that.
I love that.
Uh,
Yes.
the
We'll
ultimate
have an
F word
effing good time.
chapter. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this ultimate F word, the 50s chapter, who is sitting at your table and why? Now, it could be somebody that you personally know, somebody that's past or a celebrity. You tell us.
It could be someone controversial.
Yeah.
Well, I think if I'm gonna, if I'm gonna talk to somebody, I'm doing it because I really want to know something, right? And I was thinking that Geraldine Ferraro was the first back in the 70s, I think. 70s? Yeah, 70s. She was the first female candidate for vice president of the United States. Like, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, I know.
Seriously, what was that like? Well, who pulled those strings to have her on the ticket? Now, the why it didn't happen, I'm not that interested in, but I am interested in how that woman got so powerful, and then
Yes.
it still took 3 more generations of women to start being really, at the top of companies and governments and whatever else.
Yep.
But she really was, maybe she wasn't the pioneer, but she really was
But
in my life.
imagine the journey it took her to get there, right? Like,
Exactly,
what was that
exactly.
like? The
Yeah,
experience. Yeah.
yeah,
I see
yeah.
that. That's great.
And
Yeah.
love him or
Well,
yeah.
yeah, go no, keep going. I love it.
Well, I was
I
gonna
wanna
say,
hear.
love him or hate him, but I think Elon Musk is a an unbelievable human, and I think will possibly in my lifetime, I don't think I will ever experience another human mind like his, where it's just so far beyond what we're all thinking. Again, love him or hate him, he is
Well, I mean, his
incredible. I'd
checkbook
love to
shows that
talk
he's a
to him.
pretty smart businessman, so,
He's doing something.
I'd say
Yeah,
yeah,
and just smart.
absolutely. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Oh,
Well,
we love
Liz,
that.
thank you so much for joining us at Who's Sitting at Your Table. Your story, your honesty, and the way you've shaped the ultimate F word, 50s, made this conversation incredibly meaningful. We're so
thank you. It's
grateful
really
you
great
shared
talking to you.
your time, your voice, your brilliance with us and with our listeners.
That's
Thank you.
right. And this is a reminder the F word is living fully.
The ultimate F
The
word.
ultimate F
That's
word.
right.
Yes. Yes.
If you love this episode, like it, share it, follow it, follow who's sitting at your table.
And
Yes.
you can find us on all the social the 4 actually that we're on 4 platforms for the podcast. So you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, and of course all the other social platforms in terms of like Facebook and Twitter and X and you name it, TikTok, we're on it.
And don't forget to go to MYNE Beauty and
Yes, let's
check
tell
out.
tell
Yes.
us
What
tell the listeners how they can find your product.
They can find it on MYNE, which is MYNE, MyneBeauty.com, or you can find us on Amazon, MyneBeauty.com.
Love it. And I cannot wait to use
yay.
our product.
I
I
So,
know.
can't wait for you to try it.
Lathering it up.
yes, we cannot
Yes,
wait.
you can sleep with me, mine. Yes, you
Yes,
can.
you can. Mine, meaning my youth
My
never ends.
my youth never ends.
Love it,
Woo, love
queens.
it.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see you all at the table. What's that?
What's that?
Bye.
Let's bye, guys.
Bye.
When real life interrupts the podcast, we hit pause thinking there was a medical emergency, but plot twist, it was a false alarm. Everyone was okay.
There's an older brother, a what?
Police here because the doctor said your potassium level's low and she's concerned about you.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Uh-oh, everything okay? We could do this another time, Liz.
Yeah,
There's something going
yeah.
on medically?
Uh, wait, is this for real? I think I might. Is this for real?
Apparently your doctor's been trying to call you. Your potassium level's low.
Oh my God, Liz.
Pass out.
let's
Oh,
let's let you
Okay,
go,
well,
and we'll reschedule this. We'll
yeah,
hey,
we'll
reschedule.
reschedule. Take
but
care.
Take
I
it
do need to
easy.
try to call me.
All
My
right.
Yeah, take
potassium
care of your
levels
health.
are really low.
Okay. Take care of your
Okay.
health. I
You
can't
go
believe the
take care of
police are
your
at the
health.
door. Go, go, go.
Go,
We
go,
love you.
go,
We'll
go.
Okay,
reschedule.
we'll reschedule.
Yeah, we'll
Bye.
reschedule. She's
Bye.
you
Take
can
care of
stay
yourself.
on. You go, Liz.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was
Oh my
scary.
goodness. Potassium levels. What does that mean? I've got to look
What
it
does
up
that
right
mean? Her
now.
doctor called the cops.